June Palafox, I call him the celebrity urban planner architect of the nation. He certainly does work across this country in so many projects, clear across from the top to the bottom of Philippines. I also didn't know that June just finished his bout with COVID. I was very shocked to hear he was working mainly through it. You know, June, nothing's going to stop him from working, but he got through it. Not everybody has. He mentioned that the former governor of Cebu also had COVID and unfortunately had a tougher time and didn't make it through. So we wish his family well. But June, strong and robust and energetic as always, with so many projects, and especially in the Visayas Cebu region. So really pleased to have him and see him again. Always looking good. Please welcome June Palafox of Palafox Associates. So glad to have you, June. Really good to see you.
Thank you, Richard, and thank you again, Asia CEO Forum. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Metro Cebu, the island of Cebu, has a very, very high development potential. I've been very fortunate, and Palafox Associates, Palafox Architecture, have been very fortunate to have been involved in many of the architecture and urban development projects of Cebu. And if you look at the map of the Philippines, let's talk about country. Our country is, rotate the map of the world, our country is right in the middle. No wonder we're the Asia-Pacific hub of Spanish Europe, then the Americans, the Japanese, the British, and so on. So our beautiful islands, superpower countries are always be interested because of strategic location. Now, if you look at the map of the Philippines, Cebu is in the strategic center. So 500 years ago, Magellan is landed at Cebu without a nautical map. He landed there, maybe brought by the winds and the waves, and that's where Christianity started in our country. 1521. So this year, we are celebrating our 500-year jubilee year of Christianity in our country. Maybe even the introduction of European town planning in our country. It's very significant indeed. And Cebu Island province is 6.5 times the size of Singapore, 4.5 times the size of Hong Kong, 8 times the size of Metro Manila. Of course, it has its many challenges as well, like it seems to be repeating the mistakes of Metro Manila, the primacy of Cebu City to the rest of the island. And I have been putting forward that Metro Cebu could be a megalopolis. A megalopolis is several metropolitan areas, and a metropolis several cities. Metro Cebu has 38 municipalities and 9 cities, and most of the population is concentrated in the city of Cebu. Like I think only 6% of the land of Cebu province is in Cebu, and yet the population is 22% of Cebu. And Cebu has tourism development potential. You can have adventure tourism, architectural tourism, heritage tourism, cuisine tourism, and about 12 classifications of tourism. And one thing about Cebu is they have a very entrepreneurial spirit. So I've been looking at the high development potential of Cebu since the 70s, and I was very fortunate also to have been the master planner of Cebu Business Park. And it's now the financial business center of Metro Cebu. And at that time, I was looking at Metro Cebu, the directions of urban growth. And at that time, the direction of urban growth was towards the north. Cebu City, Mandaue, Mactan, and so on. And this year, even many of our projects now is going south. And I've been saying planning is balanced. So urban development has been balanced. So there's a lot of potential now going south. So we have projects in south of Cebu, we have in Talisay, Minglanilla, and so on. So good, up to Bugo. That's the southern part of Cebu Island. So I've been putting forward, maybe instead of Cebu having monocentric, one center, let's say polycentric, several centers. And polycentric, these three metropolitan areas can be international gateways also. And natural resources of Cebu is there also. You can still feel the island feel of Cebu City. Unlike in Luzon, you don't feel that Luzon is an island. And Cebu City, island province of Cebu has, I think, 167 islets, smaller islands. And there are dive spots and so on. And going southward, some so good up to Bogo and southernmost tip of Metro Cebu, there's white sand, a lot of dive spots and so on. So there's a variety of choices for developers, variety of choices for investment, and they welcome investments. In fact, most of our big businessmen, Taipans in the Philippines started their businesses in Cebu. So you can see that the very enterprising people, and many countries else in the world, they do their man-made artificial islands because they don't have waterfront. If I remember right, Cebu Island has 500 kilometers of waterfront, the perimeter of the island. And tourism-wise, the tourism projects that we've been doing from Ilocos to Davao to Siargao, the topography of our islands is so interesting. So we call it, even the Department of Tourism is using this concept already, that from ridge to reef, ridge, the mountain top, the highlands, the midlands, the lowlands, and the coastlines. So it's very ideal to do tourism development planning because of these choices. Topography-wise, natural resource-wise, it's all there. And Cebu City has 8 universities. So it even attracts call centers and so on because education is very important in the development of Cebu. Of course, there are challenges, but these challenges, these are opportunities as well, as they say. And during this pandemic, who said it? Churchill said, never let a good crisis go away. So this crisis, we should opportunities now to replan. One of my professors in Harvard was telling us, this century will be a re-century, reimagine, replan, re-architecture, redesign, redevelop, and hopefully we'll have urban renaissance. And this is a good opportunity now to do all of this. Cebu can unlearn the mistakes of Metro Manila and implement the best practices in the world. And it's a very starting place to invest. In fact, we already put up our own office, Palafox, in Cebu City right now. It is already there. And there are many development potentials happening, a lot of inquiries. And as I mentioned earlier, hotels are closing down. We're working on the architecture of 4 hotels outside Metro Manila. And there's hope for our country. And I strongly believe that well into the new world order, I don't call it new normal, because it's really a different new order. There will be a lot of opportunities. And I'm so positive about our country. And if we work together, one nation together, I think we can be a first world country by 2030. And I think that's also the Asia CEO Forum, of which I'm very part of it. I think we can all do this. Let's be positive. Let's think of good ideas, how our country can become first world. And I have helped other countries, 40 other countries in their urban development, in their architecture, urban design, and so on. Now, I am more focused in our country. And if there's more time, because we're helping celebrate the 500 years of Christianity in our country, we're privileged that we have been appointed by the Archdiocese of Cebu, Archbishop Palma, to do the architecture, master planning, interior design, and engineering of Divine Mercy Shrine. And it's being, the plans are ready, about to be put up. Divine Mercy Shrine, together with Archdiocese of Cebu. And thank you for the people who have donated the land, and also the people helping us out. And this is the statue of the Divine Mercy Shrine. It will be on top of a mountain in Consolacion. This will be a pilgrimage site, destination site, tourism site, to remind us of our celebrate our Christianity of 500 years. And all the design, architecture, interior design are putting in place right now in preparation to his construction. It will be can even guide sailors navigation with this Divine Mercy Shrine. And we're trying to influence also the surrounding areas so that it really centered on this Divine Mercy Shrine. It will also have a chapel underneath. And of course, we're also designing with nature. We respect the topography, and there will be more. It's not just gray infrastructure, concrete, but also green infrastructure. A lot of greening here. Everyone has the opportunity to help this constructed, and we also design that there will be a lot of opportunities for donations. Let's say the 4 mysteries of the Holy Rosary, the Stations of the Cross, they will be there also. And you can see here how it fits nature, how it fits the topography. So it's more landscape than concrete. Thank you very much indeed.